Welcome back to the Daily Rundown. I'm Dan Morfitz. Thank you for watching Channel 7. Now, you can get in touch with the show here at the Daily Rundown if you're on Twitter, and come on, you must be on Twitter at the Daily Rundown. Or if you want to email us, dailyrundown@thattv.com. Send us your missives and have your something to say. On that, Cal, what's your something to say on the last Daily Rundown of the week?
I've realised that I don't know how to do small talk. I've realised this a while, but it's sort of come to a head this week a little bit because I've started a new job, and essentially that's all I have to do with people right now is just small talk. For a little bit of background, the barbers I go to do not talk to me.
Oh, I like that.
Which is really good. They are Italian, and so they just talk to each other in Italian, which is really, really good, and I like that a lot, so I always go back to them. But this week, I had to do a lot of scanning things because I'm new to the job. They give the new guy the scanning to do, which is fine. I find scanning very relaxing. But there's this
Really?
All right.
This thing about not being good at small talk, I find scanning very relaxing.
Yeah, I think we see the problem.
The problem is that I'm incredibly boring. It's fine. But there was this other person who came along to do this big batch of scanning as well, and I had this huge amount of scanning. So they were just waiting there for me to finish. And I'm just going through, so we start talking. I discovered that they go to uni, they're there interning, they do maths at uni, that sort of thing, which is great. But eventually it came to a lull in the conversation, and I thought, this is the point where I need to keep the conversation going. So I was just like, so, maths, what's your favourite kind of sum? And it's I thought it was a funny thing to say. I thought I was sort of joking and things, but she gave me...
You were using your comedic background there.
Yeah, using my comedic background there, or my awkwardness, whatever you want to call it. She gave me just a weird look and was like, I don't really have a favourite. And I was like, oh no, what I was and she's like, some, and I was like, no, I was just sort of, and she's like, I don't think people tend to have favourites. And I was like, I know, but I was just kidding, sums, you know. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then she told me what her favourite type of maths was, but for a little bit it was, I put my foot in it, and that's because it's my fault there, essentially, because I don't know how to talk to people, it turns out, to other humans, because I spend all my time indoors online talking to people through words on that.
Hasn't it been amazing, all this rain we've been getting in August?
The rain is top notch. It's really good. I hear we're getting a heat wave.
We're getting a heat wave.
Yeah,
Mike,
it's going to go as high as like 27 degrees.
I'm not a weatherman.
Well, yesterday I came out with my mates, and we stepped out of this restaurant we'd gone to, and I just went, oh, this weather, just out of the blue. I had no control over it, and I think it's just the office lifestyle getting to me. But that's, I don't know how to do small talk.
So this is your first week in a new place where small talk is bad. What about office bants? Surely that's about to come. Office bants.
I'm not sure how to get involved in that. So beforehand, any sort of jobs I've done, I've come in to with either with a new team, so it was a completely new team. There was no one there already, so we were all new people. In which case we could establish that. Or I was coming in with a group of people to a pre-existing team, but I had a group of people there to back me up and who were also newcomers. Here, I'm the only person they've employed, so I'm essentially just coming into a pre-established team, and I'm not certain. I've never had that experience of trying to establish myself within an already existing dynamic, and that's going to be a struggle. So I'm not sure when the office bants begins at all. How do I do it?
Well, I mean, they'll be having a lot of office bants about you asking someone what their favourite sum was. I think
that person wasn't on my team. It's okay.
Yeah, you may not be involved in the office bants yet.
They'll all be on their internal messenger going, that new man, he asked the intern, what's their favourite song? What? And he really likes scanning. It says it chills him out.
That's my life at the moment, and hopefully it'll get better. But until it basically just made me realise just how much I don't not only dislike small talk, but how bad I am at it.
It's hard trying to judge sometimes, and one of the things is when you see someone that you know in the street, and then there's stop and chat, or and how much. Do you actually stop and talk, and how long do you talk for? And you're kind of edging away.
I don't care if it's moving traffic. I just throw myself in front of it to avoid any.
Because you both say hi, and then often, so many times, I say, "Hey, you're right. How are you?" And then but keep walking because I don't want an answer. But I've essentially just asked, a question which needs an answer. But I just say, oh, how are you? You're okay, and then walk off.
I just talk in Italian and pretend I'm a barber.
Right. And they've just
That's all I need.
But normally I'm walking down the street anyway in a waistcoat and a black bow tie anyway, so it's one of those things.
My barber's actually told me they hate it when people try and talk to them, and I was like, I'm coming back.
Oh,
here.
I want to go to that barber's.
That's what they're known for, isn't it? They ask you about your holiday, or they ask you,
something for the weekend.
They were just telling me they had all these people who would just create these like grand stories for themselves, or like try and create the most interesting life possible. And I was like, I'm not telling them I'm a comedian then, because I'm just going to sound like one of those people, which is great. It worked great for both of us. And I was like, okay, I don't have to talk to you.
The worst thing is if you start to go to a hairdresser and you tell them, I'm going on holiday, I do this, I do this, I do this. And then the next time you go there, they don't recognise you. And they go, you're going on holiday, what do? You do this. And it's the same conversation every time, you're just getting your head shaved.
Yeah.
But it's one of those professions, isn't it, where it's kind of expected, like taxi driver. Yeah. You kind of expected to just ask you all about your life and try and make some sort of conversation.
On Uber, you know the rating system.
Right.
Lose a star if you talk to me too much. If you don't talk to me at all, gain a star.
Oh.
But you're then making Uber into a game.
Well, yeah, that's my life, though. I do tend to make games out of things, like scanning.
And that's why small talk is not your thing, but you love scanning.
Yes.
Your something to say was, for someone who can't do small talk, very good.
Thank you very much.
For that.
Yeah.
Mike, now do you have your something to say for us?
Yes. I'm going to be talking about movies. Basically, it's just come out in the news that the Ocean's 11 films are going the way of Ghostbusters, whereas there's going to be a remake of a full woman cast, full female cast, a reboot, remake, whatever they call it. So I just wanted to speak to you guys whether you think it's a good idea. Obviously, there was so much kind of negative stuff thrown at Ghostbusters, and a lot of screaming man babies, as I think Cal's put it when I talked to him about it earlier.
It was a good film.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
Nice film.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a lot of negative stuff hate being thrown at it from people saying, "Oh, we did destroy the childhood." Now, maybe the Ocean's 11 film don't quite have the fan base that Ghostbusters do, but maybe they do. I mean, that was in itself a remake. But a lot of it, what I get not annoyed with, but a lot of people constantly ask the question, oh, why are they doing this? Why are they remaking something again? Or why are they why do people want a female Doctor Who? Why do people want a black James Bond? Or why do people want to remake these things? And for me, it's obvious, because there's already a stock audience there. There's an audience there already. So it would be much harder these days to completely launch like a new female character, or a new female franchise, or a new black character, or a new gay character. So I can see why they'd want to change these existing characters and use them to represent maybe parts of society that haven't been fully represented in the past in big movies.
It's easy to be noticed if you take a recognised property and twist it.
Yeah.
Then introduce something new which could get lost in the model of media.
Yeah, but it seems to attract this nerd bile and this hate that I don't know where you guys stand on it.
Well, isn't Rihanna going to be in the new
She
Ocean's?
is. Yeah, Kate Blanchett, Sandra Bullock, Rihanna, Anne Hathaway. And fair enough, I mean, what they did with Ghostbusters, they tried to find funny women that were becoming big at the moment, that were the hot property. And what they've done with this, they've got Oscar-nominated big league actresses: Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Hathaway.
As in a way they did with the Rihanna. They originally did Ocean's 11.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's worth noting that Rihanna has done a bunch of acting recently. The films she's been in may not be particularly good, but she's not just like a singer or anything.
No.
She does giving it a go. She was giving it a go.
She tried.
It's just a small talk coming back. She gives it a go.
I wonder what her favourite songs are. But I mean,
I'd watch anything with Sandra Bullock in it.
Yeah, well, you're a fan. Not everyone is a fan, but I liked her. I thought she was very good with actually Melissa McCarthy in The Heat, which is from Melissa McCarthy from Ghostbusters. But it's a weird one, and
I've got nothing against it, but I just don't think remakes have always been around. Nobody really
Yeah.
believes this because, you know.
No, well, they have.
Yeah, but the Maltese Falcon, the one that everybody knows about, there was a previous Maltese Falcon made just 3 years beforehand.
Yeah.
There've
Like-
always been remakes. Robin Hood was remade every 3 years.
They recently remade. I mentioned The Thing before. Actually, they recently remade The Thing. The Thing itself was a remake in the 80s of
The Thing from Outer Space.
Yes. So and a lot The Fly in the 80s, the Jeff Goldblum version, much better than the original, I would say. And Ocean's 11, I would say, is a much better film than the Rat Pack version. The Rat Pack version is good because it's just them, but the actual film itself, it's not as slick, it's not as efficient, it's not as great as the remake with George Clooney.
But the problem is, the new thing is, let's do a remake, but with women.
Yes.
Rather than making a story good, they're just going to go, it's the same film, but with women.
Do you think this is a gimmick, or
Let's
or
make
is
The Hangover, but with women.
or is it a good thing?
I mean, it's both, isn't it? I mean, it's both a selling point in that, or it's an excuse to make this film again without necessarily having to put much of a spin on it, other than changing the gender of the roles. But it's also a good thing because it's bringing these roles to a bigger front, I suppose. And it's difficult because you can't just do a whole new thing. It's tricky.
Yeah,
It's
with
tricky.
Ghostbusters,
how do you do it right?
You know, with Ghostbusters, you had people seeing it who wanted to hate it, want to see it because they hate it.
I liked it. It's a nice movie. It's not the original, but it's a nice movie. I've just thought, though, because in the remake of Ocean's 11 with George Clooney,
Yes.
Julia Roberts is the love interest, isn't she?
So what are they gonna
Because she's
have?
with Andy Garcia. So
Yes.
there's got to be a love interest for Bullock and Cate Blanchett and Rihanna. I'm thinking Mike Milling, Cal Doughty,
Yeah.
Dan Morfitz. We can do that.
We could do that.
Yes, yes.
I'm very smooth.
I'd be up for it.
He
Yeah.
is. I felt him, he is. No,
What's your favourite song, Sandra Bullock?
Get away from me.
She's putty in his hands.
Oh.
I mean,
Right.
yeah.
We're going to go to another break now, but please don't go away. I'll be back with my guests in just a minute with some of the more strange stories of the day here on the Daily Rundown.